psychic among them possess you with one go.
Happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine.
You've got to love hearing that kind of talk in the pregame huddle. Everyone is in their seats here at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles as the Los Angeles Lakers look to grab a win on the home floor. A quick check now at the starting lineups for both teams. Someone will be keeping an eye on, Roy Hibbert.
Well, something special about him, guys, is just how good he is at winning the so-called second shot game, going hard to the offensive glass, salvaging points with his putbacks.
And Steve, he's also the player they rally around at the defensive end. I mean, they cause some real havoc when he's out there running the show defensively.
Looking at the Lakers, they took the win in their last game against the Knicks in New York.
And a very confident performance offensively, I think, guys, is really how this team clicks. I mean, when they're communicating and executing, sharing the ball, they're tough to beat.
And, Steve, you got to love that kind of performance on the road. I mean, to be a great team in the NBA, you have to be able to have that kind of performance in the other team's building. Really solid. Well, it's without question Kobe Bryant is always going to be known as one of the great scorers in the history of the game. But for the kids watching at home, it is really worth reminding you of this. He can do it all. He's fundamentally sound in all aspects of the game. He defends, he rebounds, he passes. To be one of the true greats, you can't just focus on one thing. You need to be able to do a little bit of everything and do it all well.
Here's Farmar. Roy Hibbert picking up that last basket. Farmar kicks to Jackson. Pass to Farmar. Takes the three. Pacers with the rebound. And for Kobe Bryant last season, right at the top among shooting guards and rebounds and assists.
And despite his workload offensively, he's a very good defender, too, especially on the ball. He's been all-defense 9 times on that first team. 12 all-defense selections overall in his career, tied with Kevin Garnett for the all-time lead in both categories.
And here's Kobe after the three-pointers for money. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Indiana shooting their first free throws tonight. The first trip to the stripe in this one. And he makes the first.
You know, with Steph Curry, it's never been a question about his talent, guys. It's always been a question about how are his ankles going to do. But really, he only missed significant time in the shortened season. For the most part, he's been healthy and highly productive.
Now here's Kobe. 9-point game his last outing. Outside for Jackson. Back to Kobe. Pocket 6. Can't get it to go.
And they're now 1 for 5 to start this game, so having trouble finding any offensive rhythm.
And the shot is good for money. And a few ankle tweaks for Curry last season, but with the big brace he wore, he said the pain was mostly from the brace bruising his ankle than anything else.
Well, sounds to me like maybe you should take the brace off. Maybe a smaller brace so he doesn't get the bruising. That would be smart.
Exactly. Puts up the baby hook. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
You know, even from here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the official.
That one misses. Here's Indiana. They're on a 12-3 run. Money passes to Granger. Cans the shot from the wing. Granger's got his first 2 points of the night.
They're allowing a sky-high field goal percentage. That won't get it.
Not at all. They've been able to score with ease.
Gasol, a screen on Curry. Back to Kaman. Outside Gasol. Outside Kobe. Some nice passing here by Los Angeles. Here's Jackson. Good on the triple. Jackson's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
You know, Frank Vogel is one of the youngest head coaches in the NBA, and in college at Kentucky, he pestered the coaches relentlessly until they gave him a role as a student manager for the Wildcats, and that determination and resolve has served him well as he's worked himself into an outstanding head coach in the NBA.
Oh, the rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
Here's Farmar. What a tremendous game he played against New York. Good. Dan for Vogel, an assistant for 10 years in the NBA, and when a coaching turnover moved him into the interim head coaching position in 2011, Steve, he grabbed the reins and didn't look back.
No, he didn't. The results speak for themselves. The teams responded to him. The organization has shown its faith in Coach Vogel, giving him an extension, and he led that club to a deep playoff run a year ago, one game from the finals.
Stolen by Jackson. And stolen by Hibbert. And here we go. Fast break. Curry's got it. That's good. West has got his first points in this one.
And the story
We're closing in on 2 minutes played here in the second quarter. Picked by West. It's back to Hill. Now the pass to Money. Puts it up from 12. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Nuggets.
I didn't like the defensive game plan they had going into that one. It just seemed out of whack. The matchups were wrong, and they didn't bring the energy necessary either.
You know, it was befuddling to me why they stuck with that, Steve. I mean, they dug themselves a hole, and then they didn't make the changes they should have to get out of it. Didn't make any good adjustments there.
Inside the 7-footers, Gasol and Kaman. Nash and Meeks together in the back, and it's Jackson in at the small forward. That's the Laker 5. Now here's Kaman after the miss from Money. Nash kicks to Jackson, and there's the feed to Meeks. They get the rebound. He dishes it to Nash. Pass to Jackson. Back to Nash. Shot clock at 6. Second chance shot. Shot is off. Nice D from Watson. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, Money in the last outing against the Nuggets made some major contributions. He had 11 points and added 3 rebounds as well. This was the latest chapter in what has been a stretch of very good outings for him. Will we see another one tonight, Kevin?
All right, Doris. Well, what do you guys think? Does that kind of big performance energize a player in his next game, or has it, like Steve, you began taking a toll physically?
I think it just depends on the individual, Kevin. Probably depends on how he's feeling physically overall. But usually a guy who has a big night like that, it's going to carry over. Just the confidence, it'll carry to the next game.
Yeah, I would not disagree with you on there, Steve. There's something about confidence in this game that really fuels you and energizes you. When you've performed well, then you feel like you can do it again and again and again.
And here are the Pacers now. After the three-pointer from Farmer. West, he's guarded by Hill. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And Kevin, what stands out to me is his array of moves down on the low block. The low post scoring, back to the basket game. That's what he does, and that's a valuable weapon for a team to have.
And you know what? He's a guy who will put some wood on you now. He'll throw his weight around. Bodying him up play after play can really wear you down.
Now here's Kobe, averaging 20 points per game. Farmar dishes DeYoung. He feeds it to Gasol. Blanketed by the D, fights to the rim for the layup. Here's Curry. They lead by 7. This is it to Money. That one wide left.
Major defensive lapse right there. And he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
It seems to me Nick Young is a perfect guy to have coming off the bench because he's a volume shooter and scorer who can get hot in a hurry. But I think his best role is to play him kind of in a Jamal Crawford type role.
He's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Here's Granger. West, right side. No good. Excellent D there from Hill. Going back to Nick Young, Clark, mostly a score.